All right. Thank you everyone for joining us this afternoon. Today we have our official Matchday -1 press conference with US Under-23 men's national team head coach Jason Kreis. Jason, if you want to start, three big points in the first game. How are you guys looking to build on that performance against the DR tomorrow?
Yeah, I think we're in a good spot. Ultimately, we're really, really pleased with the result, really pleased to win our first game in the group. It was a big objective for our team in this tournament. But also, I think we're left wanting more. I think the entire team knows and the staff knows that we could have played better. And it's our objective to not only win games, but win them in a certain way. And I don't think that we completed everything that we wanted to in that game. I think we have a hungry group that wants to get another win tomorrow night and do it in a much better fashion.
Awesome. Thank you, Jason. We'll now open the floor to questions. Let's start with Michela Giannone from Univision. Michela, go ahead.
Hello, Coach. How are you? Good afternoon. What can you share to us about what you learned from the Mexico and Dominican Republic game? Thank you.
Well, it's as expected. Mexico's a very, very good team. Mexico put Dominican under pressure from minute 1 through minute 90, really kept them pinned in their own half of the field. Was very, very diverse about the way they attacked and where they attacked, and excellent in getting runners into the box. Dominican was, as expected, a little bit of the reactionists in that game, had to play defensively. Didn't get a whole lot of room to breathe. So, we look to approach this game in the very same fashion that Mexico did. We look to get after Dominican right away and hopefully dominate the affair.
Thanks, Michela. Next up, we'll take Jeff Carlisle from ESPN. Jeff, go ahead.
Thanks, Chris. Hi, Jason. Obviously, Costa Rica put a man on Jackson Ewell and kind of shadowed him. When teams do that, do you want Jackson to try to get on the ball a little bit more and try to find that space, or are you content to kind of rely on your other guys in the back maybe to kind of beat other teams?
It's a little bit of both. No doubt about it. A little bit of both. I felt like there was space accessible for our other central midfielders that we weren't quite adept enough to find. I think on a different night and after a little bit more coaching and instruction, we could have and should have done a bit better job of finding our attacking midfielders in the spaces that they were occupying. But I also feel that there was some other ways to manipulate the opponent to find Jackson the ball more often. And we didn't quite get that done either. So ultimately, we wanted to do both. We also know that we're going to have to rely on defenders to be able to make line-breaking passes. And interestingly enough, both of the central defenders made some mistakes, some obvious mistakes with the ball, and they also made some really nice passes. So I think this is very typical for young central defenders. So we'll focus on the positive and continue to move forward.
Thanks, Jeff. Just a reminder, if you'd like to ask a question, go ahead and raise your hand with the bottom bar there. Next up, we'll take Juan Carlos Magua, from the Area Sports Network. Juan Carlos, go ahead.
Hi, Coach. I would like to ask about the status on Jesus. Yeah, I understood that he walked off injured during the last match.
Yes, Jesus came off with an injury. It was just a cramping situation, a muscle cramp. We had a couple of players that were in the same situation as Jesus, where their muscles were cramping. This is due to a little bit of dehydration. I think a lot to do with altitude and a lot to do with the fact that it's all of these players' first game in a very long time. So we're not quite, as I said before the game, we're not quite match fit yet, but we're hoping to continue to build that fitness and build that soccer form as we move forward in this tournament.
Thank you, Juan Carlos. Looks like those are all the questions we have today. So Jason, thanks so much for taking the time. Oh, we got one more latecomer. Sorry about that. Matthew Singer, go ahead.
Hi, Jason. Thanks for your time. You mentioned the altitude and kind of guys' match fitness. Is there anything, without giving away all of your secrets, in terms of lineup changes you may be looking at or switching up the team in any way?
Yeah, we're considering all options. There's no doubt about it. We feel that we've got an extremely deep team here with a ton of experience. And I wouldn't see any reason why we couldn't have the majority of these players contributing for us either in this game or the next game. So 3 games in a week for players that are at the fitness levels that we're at in preseason, basically, I think would be a lot to ask. So yeah, we are considering some rotations.
Thank you, Matthew. Next up, we'll take Leon Lecanda. Leon, go ahead.
Hi, Jason. This is Leon Lecanda for ESPN Mexico. Thank you so much in advance. I would like to ask you if you feel kind of a pressure or good stuff about the people in the stadium. You said previously of the tournament that you were expecting to have more time for giving the opportunity to the USA fans to come to Guadalajara. And then what do you feel in the first game of having people in the stadium? Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. Yes, for sure. We feel disappointed. We feel a little bit hard done that CONCACAF would make a decision such a late time to not allow any of our fans the opportunity, the time to make preparation to come down here and watch the game. It's disappointing, but maybe as we move forward, maybe with, that was a week ago, I think that announcement was. So maybe this game now gives people 10 days and maybe the next game gives everybody 2 weeks. Hopefully we will have some American fans down here by the end of this thing. But to have fans in the stadium, whether they're your fans or other fans, I think ultimately is always a good thing for players and coaches, because we prefer to operate in a situation where, there's people that are watching the game and you can feel them in the stands and you can feel their presence. And I think everybody benefits from that.
Thanks, Leon. We'll now take our final question from Juan Carlos Megua. Juan Carlos, go ahead.
Okay, one last question, Coach. The Dominican Republic manager spoke earlier and said that, after the first game, they were without any pressure anymore. The first game was key for them to let loose and everything. So I wanted to ask you if, that sense of, how can I put this? That unpredictability makes them makes them a tougher opponent for you in any aspect? Thank you.
Yeah, I think what's true for the Dominican Republic to feel that they've got, they've let loose of some pressure after the first game is also true for the United States. I think our guys went into that game feeling a whole lot of pressure, a whole lot of angst about wanting to start this tournament off in the right way. We also knew that Costa Rica was an extremely difficult opponent. So I feel in a lot of ways that we are in the same situation as the Dominican Republic, where I feel that in the second game, we should see a much more relaxed affair, much more relaxed performance. And as is typical of anything in life, when you remove some pressure, when you play a little bit more relaxed, oftentimes you get better performance.
Yeah, that's the most important thing right now is the first game in any tournament like this. To go out and get 3 points is getting us on the right track. Now we just got to focus on Dominican Republic. We watched their game. They got some quality. We watched some video on them. And now it's just time for us to go out tomorrow and perform, build off of our first game.
Awesome. We'll now take questions. If you have a question, go to the bottom bar and raise your hand. Let's start with Jeff Carlisle from ESPN. Jeff, go ahead.
Thanks, Chris. Hi, Georgie. In terms of the attack, what kinds of things are you looking to build on in this game? Obviously Costa Rica was a really tough opponent and tried to take Jackson out of the game, but what kinds of things in the attack are you looking to improve on, do you think? Yeah,
Watching that first game and how the midfielders felt in that first game, we just need to get on the ball more, find spaces to find passing lanes from the back line. If we find our 6 to look to play forward, I think that's the first thing that we can build off of. Ultimately, the midfield is an outlet to advance the attack, but not every game is going to be easy to find the middle to get on the ball a lot. So we just got to do a better job of doing that.
Thanks, Jeff. Next up, we'll take Michela Giannone from Univision. Michela, go ahead.
Hi, Georgie. How are you? Good afternoon. What can you share us about what you learned from the Mexico and Dominican Republic game? Thank you.
I'm not going to go into details about tactics and stuff like that, but we know that both of those teams have some quality on them, and they can't be taken lightly. No team in this tournament can be taken lightly. So that's what I'm going to tell you.
Okay, that's fair.
Thanks, Michela. Next up, we'll go back to Juan Carlos Megua. Juan Carlos, go ahead.
Hey, how are you? I wanted to ask you about not your performance, but how you feel overall in terms of like the environment. Like, have you been adapting? Like after that first game, I saw some of your teammates were like kind of struggling, maybe with the heat, maybe with the altitude. Like, how are you taking this into the second game?